found out I made an editing issue, problem, whatever you want to call it. I was getting all the, I filled up this one SD card filming me fletching my arrows. And when copying the files from that SD card and the second SD card I put in to finish up this episode, once I got Friday's and today's videos off the card, I didn't pay any attention, and Thursday I had shot a video. So I apologize. I've lost that video. When I stuck the SD card back in, I told the camera to reformat the card and it erased all the videos. So I'm going to do this video. This will be at the beginning, of course, but I'm going to do this video to show you the purchase that I made of the Weston 8,000 RPM Arrow Saw. Now, of course, you're not going to get to see what I had recorded on Thursday, which was assembling the saw and some things that I had to do. And I don't even know, I think I left a little bag of tools in the house. But I do apologize, but I'm going to take you through some of the things here. I'm going to unbox it, let you see it, and try to explain what I did Thursday to get it set up so I could cut my arrows on Friday. So I'll be right back. Okay, here's the saw. Like I said, I've already used it, but I'm going to take it out of the box because I put it back in the box the way it came, still in the styrofoam. So we'll go ahead and get it pulled out. I will have to find a place to put this thing. But here's the saw. And I do have a couple pieces in my pocket that I didn't put back in the box. I'll put them in here now. But here's the saw. Of course, I've put it back in its plastic and everything. I'm going to take it out of the plastic. I'm going to set it up on the table so I can show you exactly what I had to do to get it operational. So let me turn this camera around. I don't like this long shot. I want you to see it from the side. So let me situate things and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to sit here and try to explain what I've done. When you get the saw, you get the manual. This is the power cord, of course. You get the saw. It comes with an extra cutting disc. There's one already on it. It also comes with two adapters that fit here. They're PVC, to where you can hook this to a shop vac. It comes with these two rollers. Now, one thing I did notice though, and I thought I had one the right size, but I don't. This is for you to set on here. Hopefully it's in the camera view. Yeah. You set this on here. You put your air shafts, say you got your broadheads on, and you spin it. Make sure your air is true. But when I got this, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see which one it is. Okay. This is the one that's good. If you look, there are two washers behind this bearing, okay, which causes these to spin real free, okay. The two little Allen screws holds them in. This one, and you'll be able to see it when I show you, was missing a washer here, and I had one small enough to fit, but it also hits the bearing, the top part of this bearing here. This one has just a little bit smaller diameter, so I need to find another washer. I probably have to go to Lowe's to get one. but that was the only thing that was missing, was that washer, and it wasn't turning freely. But those, they mount on the saw, and you put them down far enough where, you know, you got 26, 28 inch arrow, you can lay it there, it's fletch, you got your broadhead on, and you can sit here and spin it and see if it's flying, you know, if it's spinning true. But that comes with this. And like I said, it also came with extra cutting disc. It came with a little bag of tools, which included a winch and 3 Allen wrenches for different things. One of the Allen wrenches actually works on these bearings I was talking about. Now this is your adjustment tool for the length you need on your arrows. One of the things I did have to do is I took this off. This is the dust cover, and you don't want to run this without the dust cover on it, because one, it exposes the blade. You don't want that blade nowhere near you, your clothing or whatever. But there's an Allen wrench that fits right in here, and I adjusted this guide out because with cutting carbon, you don't want to plunge it. You kind of just want to go into it a little bit and rotate the arrow. So you just want a little bit of the disc exposed that it's cutting the carbon shaft. So I had to loosen that up after I got this off and pull this out, and I just kept laying my arrow. I didn't put it on this guide back here. I just kept putting my arrow up in there and say, okay, that's enough. And it'll cut into the arrow, but with spinning it, you know, it's just a lot easier. You don't want a lot of that cutting disc hanging out. But once you've adjusted this out, and of course this is how you change the blade. You got the wrench for undoing this nut, taking the spacer off, and boy, there's a lot of carbon dust. But once you've adjusted that, you want to put this all back together. Whether you use the shop vac on it or not, I mean, if you're in a confined space, I was outside, so I didn't need the shop vac. And like I said, I do apologize, this is after the fact. But that's the saw, and like I said, this is 8,000 RPMs, and it does tell you in the instruction manual that when you turn this on, it's got an on-off switch right here. When you turn this on, let it get up to speed before you start cutting. Cut that first arrow, take it out. You're cutting multiples, and you know you got your measurement set right, like mine's 26 and the 8. Now, the one thing I will tell you, in the manual, I followed the manual's instructions. This tape measure that's on here isn't on here when you get it. It's laying here. This is self-adhesive. It's got a piece of paper on the back you got to pull off. And the instructions say, place the end of a tape measure firmly against the right side of the cutting blade, which is over here. I don't know if I can show you in the frame now, but it's right here. So you put your tape measure against that, and you're supposed to measure back 6 inches from the blade to the back face of the notch in the shaft position bracket. Okay, yeah. You put this in. That's the shaft position bracket. And you're supposed to measure 6 inches from the blade. Let me get this back in here. 6 inches from the blade to inside here where your nock will fit. Okay. And then it says using the left face of this. Okay. Using the left face of this, of the position bracket, as a guide, mark the base with a pencil. So you mark this base here with a pencil where this guide comes in, you know, is once you've measured 6 inches. Then you take that off. This tape is laying on your table, this self-adhesive tape, and you cut the measuring tape at the 5-inch mark. This thing came from 4 to 5 inches, then you got 6, 7. It said cut it off at 5 inches. I did that. And then it said peel about 4 inches of the backing off the measuring tape, exposing the adhesive surface. Line up with that 6-inch line where you use this as the guide and marked it here. And I did that. And then start putting the tape on, keep it down about a 1/2 inch, and start pulling the paper and spreading the tape all the way to the end. Well, I did that. And when I did that, I said, okay, my errors are 26 inches long. So I put this on the 26-inch mark, tightened it down. I had my Bowtech Assassin arrows, which were done at the bow shop, 26 inches. I think they're 26 and a 16th, 26 and an 1/8. And I laid it in there, and it didn't even come close to the blade. So I was really frustrated. So I peeled this back off, and I can't remember what it was. I think I measured it. I ended up tightening it. I had that tightened down. I measured from there to the inside of the knock location to get 26 inches. And I seen it was like a 1/4 inch this way too much. So I moved this tape down, reapplied it to the bracket, put this back at 26 inches, ended up finding out it was still off, and I had to actually, instead of using the left side, when you take this and slide it up and say, okay, I need a 26-inch error, instead of using this side for 26 inches, I had to use the back side, which works perfect. I put that in there, tighten it down, lay the knock here, take the shaft, cut it, measure it, it's 26 inches. So that's the only thing. The instructions for putting this tape on was a problem. Don't know why it did not come out like it said it was supposed to. But then the rest of the instructions in the manual talks about, it's the operating instructions, through cuts, that means just plunging. I didn't even read on the through cuts. I read on the roll cuts is what I do. I've seen the bow technician up at the shop we used to go to. He had a similar saw. I don't know if it was a Weston. That's the way he done it. He'd take the shaft, you'd start hearing it into that blade, and then he would roll that shaft until the excess come off. So I do the roll cut. But, you know, talks about the spinning test in the manual. After using those 2 pieces I told you it sets up here. Then it goes into how to change the blades on it, how to adjust the guide, which I already showed you. This guide here, I adjusted it out. And then that's it to the manual. The rest of the manual is in foreign language. But, you know, it's not, these aren't that expensive. I always thought they were, but, you know, better job, you know, better income coming in, I could afford this. This was just over $200. And, of course, it's going to pay for itself. Cutting Jerod's errors, my errors, and Big Al's errors. And if we ever need any more errors, we've got the tool ourselves. We don't have to hunt a bow shop down. If we bought errors, had errors that we hadn't cut, and they're still laying around here, something happened, I've lost all my errors, you know, I went hunting for a week, it's the weekend, I want to go bow hunting, I only got 2 errors left, I need some more errors. And you got shafts here, but they need to be cut. Okay, might not be a bow shop local that's open, or you may have to drive, you know, a good piece to a bow shop that's open. We've got the tool now, we can do our own. But I do apologize again. Like I said, I had shot a good video on Thursday of assembling this thing step by step as I was doing it. You was following me right along. You've seen the frustration I had with the tape. But like I said, in editing, pulling the videos off the SD card, I thought I had everything. I forgot that I actually done this on Thursday and started wrapping and cutting errors on Friday. And when I put the SD card back in the camera, I told the camera to reformat, and it erased everything. But this was the only video that I did not pull, was putting this together. So I do apologize. It's here now. It's going to be in the video. this and then you're going to see me doing my own error wraps, cutting my errors, fletching my errors. But again, I do apologize. I wish I had not done that. But that's what happens, you know, when you're trying to get these videos together. You got to pay attention, and I just wasn't paying attention. I do apologize. But that's the Weston 8000 RPM Arrow Saw. It's a 120 volt saw, 60 hertz, 1 amp. So, you know, it's a good tool if you like being self-reliant without having to depend on other people. This is what you need if you want to bow hunt and you want to cut your own shafts. You know, I may order another dozen shafts just to have. I've got 12 arrows for the Bowtech Zion, and I've got 12 or 16 arrows for the Bowtech Assassin. So just stay tuned for the next clip. It's coming up right after this. Hello everybody. I told you to be back with some more video. I'm going to put my fletch wraps on. It's got the J&J logo on them. It says Bowtech Zion. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm doing on. I don't have a true arrow wrap mat. I have my Glock mat, and it's got a nice straight edge where I believe I can put the fletch wrap down and then lay the arrow, line it up, and get it wrapped. So let me turn the camera around, aim it down here, let you see what I got. I've got denatured alcohol. That's what I use in my alcohol stove. And I've got my Carbon Force Radial Weave arrows, and I'm going to wipe down where the wrap needs to go, and hopefully maybe today I'll get some of these cut. So I'll be right back. Okay, I got clean paper towels so I can do this. I want to make sure I've got plenty of room with nothing in the way, because when I do the wraps, I've got to lay this arrow down, make sure it gets in contact, and then roll it. So let's get some denatured alcohol on this paper towel. And I'm going to wipe this shaft real good and let it dry. Might do 2 more and have them ready. And you can see there's stuff on. Okay. Now I want the deer hoof prints to be up to knock. My hands are clean. Peel one of these off, get these other two out of the way. It's sticky. And then you got to line the shaft up. I'm going to have to move the camera. You got to line the shaft up evenly till it touches the wrap. And once you get it there, you just roll it. Make sure there's no air bubbles. What do you think? Look at that. J&J logo at the end. Bowtech Zion. There's number one. Get it lined up on that line. Take the air up slowly. Eyeball it till it comes in contact. There's another one. And one more. There's the other one. So I have fletch wrapped 3 of my arrows. Now I'll do 3 more, but I'm not going to let you have to sit here and suffer and watch me do this. But I wanted to show that. Hopefully the next step will be getting the saw set up out here and cutting these arrows to length. Stay tuned. Okay, I've got the saw set now here. I'm gonna get it hooked up and just make sure it works. Yep, it runs. Okay, now I have here one of my Bowtech Assassin practice arrows. And now it's got the insert on it, and I gotta allow for that. but I want to set this up so these arrows are the exact same length. And I've got the tape measure out here. I'm going to measure it from the nock to the insert's 26 1/8 inches. So 26 1/8 should put me right about there. And looking at the disc, that would cut the insert off. Okay. I'll make sure this is good and tight. And you're going to see me cut my first arrow. Now, I may mess up. And you can see here, I got them all fletch wrapped. I've got the inserts. These have got red inserts. I got G5 glue. Bonds in seconds, and I don't know if I have to cut the tip or what, so look here for a minute. Now, I want to do that. Okay, here we go. No, don't have to cut the tip. And I've also got my tool here with 600 grit wet sanding paper in here so I can square up after I get them cut. So, reading the instructions, turn the arrow saw on and let it get up to speed. So you're going to go right along with me here just as soon as I flip this switch. First, going to run it across this to make sure I get it square. And it looks square. And I'm going to measure my shaft. .26 1/16. I'm happy with that. Let me cut a few more and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got all my arrows cut to length. I have squared them up, making sure they're square with this. I don't know what a person's going to do with all these extra, what, 10 inches? I don't know how long they are. Let's see here. Over 6 inches of carbon shafts. But I got some Q-tips. I'm going to clean the inside of these shafts. Get any of that residue out. Okay, let that one dry. And I'm using denatured alcohol. I don't know how far down in this one I went. Okay, I'm going to put that one away. That's a mess. I'm telling you, you wouldn't think there was that much, but that's the dust and everything from cutting the shaft. And get all that out of there so your glue will bond. Now, I'm no expert at this, my first time, but I watched some professionals on YouTube that done these, or do their own errors. Plus, you know, somebody like me, just getting started. So I'm following all their tips. So we'll get the inserts in. The only thing left will be fletching. And then have to do big owls and Jerods. Okay, that's all 6. I'm ready to put the inserts in. So I'll be right back. Okay, I got my nocks or inserts right here. And here's the G5 glue. And I don't know how much this you're supposed to put on. I'm going to wipe off any excess. And then you're talking about quick drying. There's one. to there's 3. So, as you can see, my arrows are cut to length, got the wraps on them. Only thing left to do is fletch. So I'm going to stop the video here and we'll do the rest of these. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm doing the last one. Make sure it's seated. And there we go. There's a dozen arrows, fletch wrapped, and inserts glued in. Got that wrap with the J&J True Outdoor Adventures logo on it. Little deer prints on the back towards the knock. Now the next thing, I'll be changing these nocks out and putting lighted nocks in on 6 of these. But the glue is fast drying. Saw has worked well. This has worked well. I need to mount this to a base though, so I don't have to try to hold it at the end. You know, if I had a piece of wood or whatever, give it a little bit of stability. This I should have clamped down, but it's heavy enough on this picnic table, it wasn't moving. But that's the Weston 8,000 RPM Arrow Saw. Works slick. This is a 3D printed device I found on eBay, where you put your sandpaper in here. You got these nice, really good spinning bearings. You can also take these 2 nuts off, take this off, put the nuts back on, and if this was mounted to a board, spin your arrows on these, and these really spin. So that's it. Next thing you'll see is me fletching the arrows. I'm going to go with a cock vane that is white and then 2 gray. I think we're all going with white and gray fletchings, but I'm going to go with 1 white, 2 gray. I think Alvin's going with 1 gray, 2 white, and Jerod's going with white and 2 gray. His wife Louisa is making fletch wraps for him. I don't know about Big Al. I had already ordered mine when she said she could do it, since she does vinyl stuff, but I told Jerod last night that I already had mine. So, but that's it. So the next clip will be me doing the fletching, so stay tuned. Okay everybody, I have already cut my arrows. I've already wrapped my arrows. J&J True Outdoor Adventure logo, Bowtech Zion, and yes, I went ahead and fletched some. Before I done the video, I wanted to try to do some fletching just to get the feel for it. I've got 3 here fletched, and after I got them fletched, I didn't like where I'd put what we call the cock vane. because where it's at, the J&J True Logo Adventure is underneath, and the Bowtech Zion is between the two gray fletchings. So I've got these three, and I'm going to use these as practice arrows. I got a dozen, remember? Now I have reoriented the nock, so I have the cock vane on top, which means the J&J True Outdoor Adventures logo is on top, and the word Bowtech Zion is right here. And it's got that right helical, I think is what they call it, if you look at it and see. So I'm going to do a couple more so I can show you me doing it with the Easton EZ Fletcher tool. And I may go ahead and put the lighted nocks on 5 of the arrows that'll be my hunting arrows. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I got a cat that won't leave me alone. And my dog's going to bark. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I twist this nock to where it'll fit in the jig. And this nock, I believe, is already fitted right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it down in the jig. And for practice run, I'll close this one up, this one up. Okay, so it needs twisted just a little more. Close this up. I'm going to try to keep the fletching from actually touching the words. That's why I keep closing it up just to check. And that looks good. So my arrow's in place. And I'm going to get one white. And it goes in this gray wing. And I'll push it all the way down. Then I'm going to get 2 gray, push them all the way down, and now I have my nocks in, or my veins in place. Now I do have some denatured alcohol and a Q-tip. Now whether I need to do this step or not, I don't know. Everybody says that you should do it, especially if you've handled these veins. And I'm just putting that alcohol down in the groove where the glue's going to go. Then I run it up the shaft where the fletching is going to go, or the veins. I may use both words. And then once I've done that, I let the Q-tip out of the way. And I'm going to let that dry a little bit. That's getting all the oils off. And then, guys, pardon the dog barking. 2 cats in the backyard, he's going to bark. I'm sorry. But I wanted to do this outside, and especially before it rains. Now I'm using G-Lock G5 glue. And I'm just going to put a dab and then smear it. Make sure that nock stays in there, or that vein. I don't know why I keep saying nocks. Turn through the next vein, just 2-3 drops, maybe 4. Spread that on. This is quick drying. Okay, now I've got that on. You've seen me apply that. I hope that was in camera. Put the lid back on the glue. Now this base is spring loaded. I'm going to hold it here. I'm going to push up and then bring these up. They all look good. I take this cap, go over my arrow, come down, and lock it into place. And give it about 10 seconds or so. And these should be dry enough to take this off. And I forgot to bring a paper towel. I'll have to use a Q-tip to take off any excess glue. Now the one thing I have seen, because I don't use it, is I wish I had some blue painter's tape to put on the inside where these slots are for the veins to go in, and then just take my knife and cut the slot, because it does get some glue on these wings. And excuse me a minute. Okay, there we go. And I have to take a knife and kind of scrape it off. Now this should be done, so take this off. Like I said, this is spring loaded, so I've got to push this up and lock it in. And then slowly pull these wings back. Take my arrow out. As you can see, Bowtech's right there. J&J True Outdoor Adventures is right on top. And since I forgot a paper towel to wipe off the excess, I will just take a Q-tip, wipe off any excess. Now I will go back here a little bit later and I'll put a little dab, let me get in the camera, right here, on here, here, and here, and even on the backs, just to make sure these veins stay secured. But you should be able to see, if I can get that centered. Like I said, I think that's a right helical. So there's how you fletch them. So that makes number 3 that I have fletched. I'm going to do one more. And like I said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check, line that knock up with the piece in the bottom. Okay, I can tell right now the knock needs to go this way a little bit. I'll close that up, close that up. Since I don't have any veins in here, I can see if I'm touching any of the lettering on the word Bowtech Zion, and I'm not. So open these back up. I need to get a little bit of this excess glue out. Okay, that's the problem with this system. You got to be real light on the glue. Don't go heavy. Everybody says don't go heavy, and I'm here to tell you, don't go heavy. You get the squeeze out, and it gets on these little wings. Now I'm using boning blazer vanes, 2-inch. And I could use the other wings that goes on this thing and just did straight veins, but I wanted to try the helical. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Helical twist. Okay, sorry about that. The camera, the SD card filled up. But I got my 4th arrow done. Everything looks good. I'm getting ready to do the 5th one. Now my quiver only holds 5 arrows. And as soon as I get this 5th one done, I will probably go ahead and put the lighted nocks on these, pull these red ones. But I'm checking again. As soon as I figure it out. I think this is it. Okay. I'm going to close these up so I can see if I'm going to touch the word bow tack. I think I do need to twist it just a hair more. Yeah, that looks better. And I do apologize, I can't remember if it was something else I said when the SD card filled up. I think I've got it covered now. That'll give me 3 arrows to practice with, 5 to hunt, and then I have 4 more arrows that I can fletch, but I'm not going to bore you with fletching all these arrows. But I wanted to get the jest out. This is the first time I've ever done this, but you know, like I said in the beginning, our bow shop that we usually go to is basically shut down now. The guy who worked there, he went somewhere else, and it was just time for J&J to learn how to do their own stuff. We've put sights on before, and we've done peep sights before. We've even set our poundage, but we hadn't ever done arrow cutting. We always get somebody else to do it, do the fletch wrap. But it's time for us to do that ourselves. And I'm going to take you along with us, especially if you're a bow hunter and you've always depended on somebody else, you know, sporting goods store or whatever, to do your arrows for you. Hey, it ain't nothing. If I can do it, anybody can do this. Again, you go on the light with 2 or 3 little dabs of glue. Take the nozzle, spread that glue on the vein evenly. And I should have started with the cock vein first. It's easier to see. But now that I've done this, I don't know why we didn't do it years ago. You know, I've been bow hunting for 38, 39 years. One thing, I didn't have the money to buy the saw. That was the big thing. But back in the day, I was using aluminum arrows. I could cut those with pipe cutters. But just make sure your veins are all the way down in. You've got everything cleaned. Again, this is spring loaded. Take that up and let it close. Squeeze those together just slightly. Take the cap and put it on. Always make sure to flip this piece up so you can set it on the table. And just let it sit there for about 10 seconds. And keep the wind from blowing it over. And I know you're hearing the plane go over. Bad thing about living close to a little small airport, it's got a biplane. He likes to fly. Plus he charges to take you up in it if you want to ride. But take that off. Lock that back in place. pull these back, pull your arrow out, and take a Q-tip and wipe off any excess. This one should have turned just a little bit more, but it's okay. Deer ain't gonna pay any attention to that. But there you go. There's another arrow with that right-handed helical, I believe they call it. Helical. And turn around here so you can see it. Cock vanes up. There's the J&J True Outdoor Adventures logo. Bowtech design between the two fletchings. Now, I think I'll get ready to do the nocks. Let me put this other stuff up and we'll see what we can do here with the nocks. Stay tuned. Okay, I really don't have a nocking tool. I believe I've got one. I'm not sure. It's brass. I think I can use that to turn the nocks. But here's the lighted nocks that I got. And they're green. And they turn on. There's a little button down inside. I don't know if you can see it or not. Down inside there. And when your string hits that, when it's released, it pushes, it comes on. And then you've got that little screwdriver tool. There's a little hole here in the side of that nock where you take it and pull it up. You can use a knife tip. But I'm going to take this red nock off. And that's one thing too. We made the mistake years ago. We bought nocks, lighted nocks. And when we'd shoot, they'd still be on the bowstring. And it's because we didn't check the diameter, inside diameter of the shaft. I think these are 2.44 inch. And that's what I ordered. So I'm going to try to insert this in. And it's in. There you see. And I've turned it to where it's in the right location. And it was tight going in. So I would say make sure that you have these lined up. So when you go to put them on your string, your cock vane's up. At least that's how we shoot them. So there's one with a lighted nock already on it. I will save these nocks just in case. I'm going to try to put this one on. Make sure I'm up where I need to be. Get it started. It needs to go just a little bit further. There. It's in. Always scares me doing that. But there it is. And the reason why I went with green instead of a red lighted nock is everybody knows, even with lasers on a handgun, in daylight hours, green appears a lot easier than red. So get ready to put this one on. Started. Make sure it goes straight down. Yep, and that one's seated all the way. So there's 3 of them. And I got 6 of these, but like I said, my quiver only holds 5. Seated all the way. It's number 4. We got one more. Those red ones are a lot easier to pull out than these green ones are to go in. But these green ones do have a lot of ribs on them. And there's the last one. I may have to get that tool I've got. Like I said, it's brass. This one may need to be turned just slightly. But that's it. I wanted to show you us cutting our own arrows with the Weston Arrow Saw. 8,000, let me turn this camera around a little bit. The 8,000 RPM, and then I'd gotten that 3D printed piece that has, you can put 600, 800, whatever grit, wet sanding paper in to square off the ends for your inserts to go in once you've cut the arrows. I wanted to show you doing my own wraps and doing my own fletching, and of course everybody knows how to change out nocks, but you know, this is a first for us. We've always got somebody else to do this. So there's my 5 arrows to hunt with, here's my 3 to practice with, and I've got 4 more to do. I'll probably do them when I need them, or maybe tonight or something. Doesn't need to be part of this video. But that's it for this episode. Appreciate you taking the time to watch it. It's probably a lengthy one. I haven't looked at all the different pieces and edited it or nothing. But it's a first for us, or for me. When Jerod brings me his arrows, I'm going to show him how to do 1, might do 2. And then I'm going to let him do the rest of them. His wife, again, Lisa, she's getting into making arrow wraps. She does all kinds. She does the stainless steel mugs and different designs on them. She's doing ink pens now with wraps on them. So she thought, well, I can do arrow wraps. So she designed Jerod his own arrow wraps, and I've seen them. They look great. She done Big Al's arrow wraps. I've seen them. They look great. I'm the oddball. I have orange background, yellow flames. Jerod's, I think, is kind of a fade from gray to black background. And I think he's got white flames going to black tip. I can't remember. His and Alvin's kind of look alike, but they're opposite. And Jerod and Alvin's will have the J&J logo on theirs, but it'll be up this way a little further on the wrap, because here on the very end of the wrap they're gonna have their names on. So I'm the oddball, and Jerod tells me that I will have a problem when I shoot in the woods with the leaves on the ground. I'll have a problem just, trying to find my arrow, because we've all had that issue before. I don't think I will, and especially I've got lighted nocks now. Unless it buries up under the leaves, then that's something different. But enough rambling. I appreciate you watching J&J True Outdoor Adventures. Please like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, give us that big thumbs up. That really, really helps a lot when people hit that thumbs up. You watch the video, you might leave a comment, but you don't think to hit the like button. Hit that like button, give us that thumbs up. And then, like I said, if you're not a subscriber and you subscribe, hit the little notified bell and pick your choice of how you want notified, but you'll be notified when we upload new videos. And I do have a video, probably will come out after this one. A week ago, we went kayaking, Plum Orchard. Me and Jerod tried to do a little bass fishing. Probably a couple hours on the lake, 2.5 maybe, I can't remember. I haven't put that together yet, but that'll be coming out, but it'll be like a week, 2 weeks old since it happened. But just stay tuned. We'll have plenty more videos to come, and we just appreciate everybody who watches and comments and likes. So thank you for watching this episode of J&J True Outdoor Adventures. Until next time, we'll see you